Hey, good morning guys. I'm Brittany and welcome back to my channel. This here is baby Nora. And today I had all intentions of creating an introduction video for my upcoming yoga challenge that starts on September 23rd. But this morning I just woke up, my heart was in a different place. I have a lot of things on my mind and I wanted to make this video today just to share some of those things. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about my eating disorder. For those of you who don't know, I am diagnosed with a binge eating disorder. It is a disorder that I've had ever since I was a very young child. I wasn't later, technically diagnosed with it until I was an adult. Just mainly because as a child, okay. Just mainly because when I was a child, I didn't really know that an eating disorder was a thing. I knew very young that I had an unhealthy relationship with food. I can remember being in 3rd and 4th grade and not eating all day at school and then coming home and raiding the pantry and finding all the sugary sweet foods and then taking them to my room and hiding in my closet or, somewhere in the house and eating them so no one would see. Binge eating it comes from a very dark place for me. It's actually, I hate to use this word, but it's a bit shameful to talk about because people don't realize the realness that comes behind having an eating disorder. People sometimes want to say, oh, it's just an excuse for you to overeat, or oh, it's just an excuse for you to be fat and stay fat. And, comments like that don't help. No one wakes up and decides one day that they want to be overweight or be fat. Nobody wants that. But I feel like there's things in our life that go way beyond our control that just takes us down this path. And a lot of times we don't even realize we're on that path. I know for myself, I have tried to get off this path for a very long time. I'm 30 years old. Like I said, it's something that started very, very early in my childhood. And for me, I know that this is something that I'm going to struggle with my entire life. There's no amount of yoga or anything like that that's going to be able to fix this. So I want to be able to talk about this openly with you guys because I know I've made some posts in the past about binge eating and things like that, but I feel like there's just so much to be said and some of the things that aren't said. I hope this video will be able to help you guys just feel more comfortable about addressing if this is something that you're going through, and know that it is okay to talk about and that you shouldn't be ashamed, because for so long I have felt ashamed. And most recently, these past couple of months, I have been going through a lot of different emotions, and I don't really have an outlet other than my yoga for these emotions. And so I've turned to food again. A couple of years ago, I had a very good hold on my eating disorder. I was in a really good place in life, but sorry, she's getting really sleepy. Hopefully we'll make it through this video. I was in a really good place a couple of years ago. I had a really good hand on my eating. There was a lot of things that I was doing. I was very active, and I was able to handle my eating a lot better than I am now. But having a new baby and also going through some struggles with my relationship and just different things like that has made it very hard for me to be able to control those things. And most recently, I've noticed that my eating is taking a turn for the worst. Whereas sporadically it would be a couple of times a week, it has now turned into an everyday thing for me. I'm not kidding. Every other day I'm baking brownies and eating the entire pan of brownies. And in my head I'm like, Brittany, why are you eating these brownies? You know that you should not be eating these. But there's just this disconnection from my brain to my mouth. No matter how many times I say stop eating, I can't. I physically cannot stop eating until this feeling inside of me is gone. And then even after that feeling is gone, it's replaced with this feeling of shame and regret and sickness. There are days where I just eat and eat and eat and eat until I'm physically sick. which is completely unhealthy in many ways, not only physically but mentally as well, because I feel like when I try to drown myself with food, I usually just end up feeling worse about myself. And anybody who has a binge eating disorder or anyone who tends to overeat knows exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, they know exactly what I'm talking about. So today I just kind of wanted, again, to share some of the things that I'm doing to try to help cope. I'm gonna try not to cry. Last night, as I was literally eating this pan of brownies that I made, I don't know what it is about brownies, but brownies have really been my go-to lately. I asked myself, why can't you stop eating, Brittany? Like, what is going on in your life that has gotten you to this point? And most of it's situational, a lot like my depression and anxiety, a lot of it's situational. I have these feelings and I have these needs that aren't being met, and emotionally, like, I'm very lonely. I don't really know how to talk about it without talking about it. There's just a lot of things that I can't yet share with you guys, but there's a lot of things that I'm going through that leave me at the end of the day feeling very alone and very sad, which is a big trigger for my eating disorder. So as I was standing over this pan of brownies, literally just shoving it in my face by the spoonfuls, I asked myself, why are you doing this? And I knew exactly why I was doing it. I know it's because there's these other needs that aren't being met, and I'm trying to suppress those feelings with eating food. Has nothing to do with me being fat or overweight. It has to do with I have to have some form. Shh, it's okay. It's like I have to have some form of control. And the only control that I have is by eating food. Which that makes absolutely no sense, because eating this excessive amount of food is actually being out of control. But I feel like I have more control over my feelings whenever I'm eating. Okay, it's okay. I feel like I have more control over my feelings whenever I'm eating. Shh. It's okay. It's okay. And as if, like, you know, other things isn't enough. Being a mom, being a new mom especially, comes with a lot of challenges and a lot of things that just make day-to-day life very hard. I've never been a stay-at-home mom until Nora come along, and I'm not completely a stay-at-home mom. I stay at home during the week. I do run a small business on the side, and then I also work nights and weekends at the hospital. So it's like I'm kind of all over the place. I don't really get the sleep that I need, and I just feel like all these things are drowning me. And the only outlet that I have is food. It's the one thing that makes me feel good. It's the one thing that I can turn to when I have no one else there. I don't wake up every day with the intention to overeat. I don't wake up every day, you know, thinking like, oh, like, what's the first thing I can put in my mouth? But unfortunately, there are those days and there are those mornings where I wake up and the first thing I want to do is just shove something in my mouth. Just because I know how I feel. And I can't really explain it. And the only thing I can really say is that it comes, again, from this very deep, dark place. Eating, for me, has always been about comfort. Yeah, you too, right? It's something that I think maybe started whenever I was a baby. I can remember my dad and my grandma always telling me that my mom used to overfeed me. So maybe I was like doomed from the get-go. I don't know. I just know that I'm struggling very hard, and I have been lately. And one of the things that I've decided to start doing to try to help is exercising a little bit more, which kind of is hard because, you know, people are always like, oh, you can't let go, that hurts. You You can't be body positive and want to lose weight and exercise, and there's just all this like right and wrong, and okay, we need a moment. Yeah, see, this is the stuff I'm talking about. This is the real life stuff that you just can't make up. This is my real life every single day. I know Instagram probably looks completely different and like I live this big fancy life, but please don't be fooled. I'm just like all you other women out there every day, just trying to make it through each and every single day. Yeah. So, some of the things that I have been trying to be more conscious of are the foods and the things that I buy, which is hard because I have children. I have two younger children who like to eat snacks. Like, we are a snack happy family. I'm talking about Netflix and snack all day long. So I noticed that whenever I buy these snacks for them, I'm more likely to eat them. And sometimes, like, it doesn't even make it into the house. Like, I'll buy like these marshmallow fudge covered cookies, and the whole thing is like half gone before I even get home. Somebody's gonna steal the show today. Let's talk about it for just a second. We're gonna do a brief intermission. Yeah? What do you want to talk about? Yeah? Yeah, I know it's hard. It's hard being a baby. It's hard. It's so hard being a baby. Yeah. It's so hard being a baby. Let's go night-night. I'm going to try to get her to sleep while we continue to talk. So, there's days where, like, I will buy foods knowing that I shouldn't buy them because I know that I'm going to end up eating them. So I think one of the things that we can do to try to help reduce the overeating is make those foods less available. I don't know what it is about sugar, but sugar for me is an addiction. It is very much a drug. I don't care what anyone says. Anyone who's addicted to sugar knows exactly what I'm talking about. There are days where I just can't eat enough sugar. Like, my body craves it, my mind craves it, and it's just like as soon as I get it inside my mouth, it is like this rush. It's like a high almost. Like, I know people think that being on a sugar high is a joke and that it's not real, but it's very much real. Yeah. But then also coming off that sugar rush is also very toxic in a lot of ways. Just, it's not good for your body especially, but then also it leaves you feeling like you're out of control. You're making this so hard. Yeah. Yeah, you can't do that. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Alright guys, sorry, we're back. Little Miss Nora is probably going to be going down for a nap pretty soon. Can I have that back? Thank you. Sorry guys, I had to get the baby down for her mid-morning nap. Hopefully we'll be able to get this video done before she wakes up. But I believe I was talking about the things that I am trying to do to help just gain a little bit more control over my overeating. The first thing being just making those foods that I crave the most less available. Just kind of, when I'm in the grocery store, I tend to stay on the outskirts of the aisles because that's probably where you're going to find like your most, fresh fruits and vegetables and the things that aren't just filled with like all the preservatives and sugar, which for me is what I crave the most. I don't really know about you guys, like the things that you crave, but I personally crave sugar. The more sugar, the better. There's just days where sometimes like I can't get enough sugar. Like I crave it, my mind craves it, and it's like as soon as it just reaches my body, it is a high. I know people talk about and make fun all the time of it, like, oh, I'm on a sugar rush or I'm on a sugar high, but in all honesty, like that is a very real thing, especially for me, and has been all of my life. Like there's just days where I could just probably pour sugar into my body, and I can just thrive off of it, which is really sad because I know there's been a lot of research and a lot of study on sugar and how actually the effect that it has on your brain and your body is very damaging. So the more I read about sugar and how people need to consume less of it, the more it's becoming very aware that I need to grab hold of this situation, which is hard because like you read all these things and it's like, wow, like I really need to get a hold of this. But then the other side of me is like, there's no control. So to kind of help me gain at least some control over it for the time being is just being mindful of the foods that I buy, which is really hard because I have 2 other children who are 7 and 4. They are snack happy, and I feel like my eating habits are being pushed off onto them, especially my daughter. Like she constantly all day long is, Mommy, can I have a snack? Mommy, can I have a snack? Can I have a snack? And I'm like, oh my God, like you literally just ate dinner. And it's like the first thing she says when she wakes up in the morning is, can I have ice cream today? Or even before she goes to bed, she'll say, Mommy, tomorrow whenever I wake up and after school, can I have ice cream? So I already see these patterns that I myself go through. I see them coming out in her. And it makes my heart hurt because I'm like, she's watching me. She's watching everything I do, everything I eat. And if she's sitting here watching me eat this pan of brownies, then who am I to tell her that she can't have this ice cream? So I'm trying to be more mindful of the things that I'm doing because I know that she's watching me, and I don't want her to grow up and to deal with the same things that I dealt with. I don't want her to grow up and have to ever worry about being called fat or her clothes not fitting or being different because she's a different size. And there's just so much that goes behind having an eating disorder that people don't realize. It's like no one chooses this life. If we all could be a certain shape or certain size, we would be. But a lot of times, things go beyond our control. A lot of things happen in our life. And yes, most of it's situational. People experience death. People experience sickness. People go through all these different things and highs and lows in their marriages and relationships and partnerships. And a lot of times these things just leave us feeling empty. And so when we feel this emptiness, they're often replaced by different substances. For some people, it's food. For some people, it's drugs. For some people, it's alcohol. For some people, it's substance abuse. Like, there's just so many different outlets and what people choose to do. I've been on the end where I've suppressed and have treated my feelings and emotions with alcohol. It just drove me into a deeper, darker place. And to be honest, I was in one of those places when I first started practicing yoga. Not only was I postpartum from having a baby when I first started yoga, but I was also ending a 7-year marriage. And just kind of like going through a lot of different things. Like I didn't know who I was. I was really struggling with some of the decisions I was making in life. And a lot of those decisions that I was making at the time was honestly because I was so unhappy with myself, which just kind of put me in this spiral that went downward. And the one thing that I found at the end of the day that could help me and that could save me was practicing yoga. Yoga has also been very beneficial to help with my eating disorder. There's days where I wake up And I know if I don't have that mindset and that mentality that I'm going to put my feet on my mat, then my whole day is going to be not really ruined, but it's going to be difficult for me to get through. Whether it's just mindful breathing, whether it's just me sitting on my mat, just processing my emotions and my thoughts. Like I need that time for myself, because if I don't, I'm going to be in the kitchen eating. And that's the one place that I don't want to end up. So aside from trying to be mindful of the foods that I bring and that I buy into the home, I also try to set aside a certain amount of time every day for myself. Whether it be practicing yoga, whether it be spent taking a walk outside, or just sitting alone by yourself, just consciously breathing and just processing all the emotions and thoughts from the day. I know there's times, even in car ride or line, like when the baby's asleep and I'm waiting to pick up my other children, I will take this time and I will just close my eyes and just breathe. And one of the things that I found most beneficial about the breathing exercises that I do is that it gives me this clarity. A lot of times I feel frustrated. I'm rushing to get the kids from school. I'm rushing to get home, to get homework done, to get dinner cooked, to get to the ball field, to get the kids bathed and ready for bed. Like, there's just not enough hours in the day to get all these things done. But just taking those 5 to 10 minutes for myself, just doing some conscious breathing really helps. So if you guys feel like you're really overwhelmed, instead of maybe reaching for that candy bar that may be in the console hidden or over in the passenger seat, just close your eyes, take a few moments, just to take some deep breaths, just inhale and just exhale, just allow your body to just release some of that energy and things that come out. Because I know for me, like, I'm so quick to reach for food, but I notice whenever I'm more mindful and make myself do some of these breathing techniques, it does reduce my want to eat. I know that sounds funny, my want to eat, but in reality, I don't think that there's a quick answer or a quick fix for any of this. I'm very aware that this is something that I'm going to deal with and struggle with for the rest of my life. There was a time a few years ago, I actually went and talked to a doctor whenever I was diagnosed with this, and along with being a little bit ADHD, I have an incredibly hard time focusing, if you can't tell, and I was put on Adderall. XR. I can't remember the dosage because I went off of it whenever I got pregnant, but that was a medication that really helped me, not only mentally, but it also helped me the most with my eating. I know it's really sad to say, because in some light, it's kind of like you don't want to be on a substance or a medication, but then the other part of you knows that you need that medication. And that's kind of like at a crossroad that I'm at. Like, in my mind, I know it's probably best if I try to find a more healthier, natural alternative. But then at the same time, like, I keep wanting to make that appointment to get put back on that medication. And even my doctor who put me on my antidepressant was like, in all honesty, you probably need to be put back on your Adderall. And which a huge part of me does feel like I should be, but then the other part of me also knows what it was like to be on that medication, and it was very hard on my body. It was very, like, I didn't really sleep a lot because I was constantly awake and go. The dry mouth, my skin, it got really bad. I mean, guys, it's a true drug. Like, Adderall is not something to play around with. So I'm really trying to muddle through these emotions and the experiences and not go run to my doctor and get put back on my medication. And even though, like, I'm struggling mentally too. Like, I have a really hard time focusing on things. I'm forgetting things. There's times where I will walk into a room and I completely forget what I'm doing. Some people say it's baby brain. I don't really think it's baby brain anymore. I honestly just there's a lot of stuff going on up here, and I'm just trying to make sense of it all. And like, I'm just completely overwhelmed. If it's not, you know, things that I'm personally going through, it's the baby, it's the children, it's trying to just make sure that in the day everyone is taken care of and all this shit is done. And sometimes, guys, like, I feel like I can't do it by myself. But the important thing is that I'm trying, and I'm trying to do it the best way possible that I see for myself right now. I will be honest in saying that I have called the doctor a couple of times and made an appointment to be put back on my medication, my Adderall, that is, just because it helped me so much before, but in the end, it also, I felt like it was very damaging to my body. So I want to try to sway away from getting put back on that medication, but still, like, I keep making those phone calls. Like, I wanted to this morning on my way home, like, I was in tears because I realized, like, I have no control right now. And I think that's one of the most worst places to be, is to be without control. Because when you're out of control, it just spirals into other things and just leads to other stuff. Like, way back when, I used to be a smoker, and there's all these, like, different triggers throughout the day, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should smoke again. Maybe that would help. Maybe I wouldn't eat so much if I smoked. But then if I smoke, like, it's just as damaging as eating. So it's just like, it's always just this win. There's always like this lose-lose situation. There's never ever winning. But this morning, whenever I was coming back home, I was stuck in traffic, and like, I had my phone and I had the doctor's number pulled up, and I was like, just do it, Brittany. You know, this is what you need. This is what's going to help you. And I let it ring twice, and I heard the lady pick up, and I hung up because I'm not quite yet ready to go back to that yet. I still think that there might be hope for me to be able to get this under control on my own. I'm hoping maybe this upcoming yoga challenge will be kind of the help I need, which is so crazy because I do this for you guys too, but also a lot of the things that I do because it helps me. And by helping myself, I love that I can help you guys. But just know that a lot of times the things that I'm doing just isn't because I'm in an okay place. It's because, like, I truly need the help and the practice, and the things that I'm telling you, I'm actually telling myself because that's what I need to hear. Sometimes you just have to breathe. I just want you guys to know that if you're experiencing any of this, maybe you're experiencing a sickness or a death, or you've recently gone through a bad relationship and you're left feeling alone and afraid and scared, or maybe you just had a baby, or maybe you've recently had a miscarriage and you're mourning a loss, you know, whatever it is you guys are going through, just know that you aren't alone, that there's so many people out there who are like you, that are going through the same things, and that, you know, I'm not here to judge you. I get a lot of messages every day through my emails and through my inbox, and a lot of times I try to respond as much as I can, but just know, like, I have my own family too, and there's so many things I'm juggling, and if I don't get back to you immediately, it doesn't mean that I haven't read them. It just means that I haven't had a time to get back to you. Sorry, the baby woke up, but I'm back. So for anyone who is out there and is struggling today, I just want you to know that you aren't alone, that there's so many people who are like you, who are going through the same things with you, and just because their life might seem perfect and that their pictures are just flawless and like they have this most happy family and everything's, you know, just la-di-da, that a lot of the things you see on social media aren't real. In fact, most of the things you see on social media aren't real. There's a whole different world behind the pictures and the forced smiles and the things that people share. including myself. Like, I know people will look at my pictures and think, oh, like, she has this amazing life and it's so perfect, and oh, like, I get messages all the time like, I want to be like you. Guys, I'm telling you, I am no better than you. I am no better than anybody out there. I go through the same shit all of you people go through every single day. We are just alike. So don't ever feel like you need to try to be somebody other than yourself, because being you at the end of the day is enough. No matter what you're dealing with, what you're going through, what type of disorder you have, whether it's depression, anxiety, you're suicidal, or whatever it is, like, just know that you are not alone. And that is the biggest thing for me, because I have never felt more alone in my life than I do right now. And I know that's what's triggering all these different things that I've been experiencing and feeling. And I want to make sure that everyone knows that they are not alone, that I'm a safe place for you. If you need to contact me, message me, email me, hell, I'll even give you my phone number and you can call me. Just know that together we will be able to get through this, and that together there is going to be a light at the end of that tunnel. I just want everyone to know and everyone to understand that having an eating disorder does not make you any less. It does not make you someone who is fat. It does not make you someone who is obese. It makes you human. There's real emotions that go with having an eating disorder, and I've been on both sides. Like, I've been on the side of overeating, but I've also been on the side of making myself throw up. It didn't take me very long to realize that that wasn't the side that I was going to stay on, because after I had spaghetti noodles come out of my nose one time, I was like, yeah, no, this isn't for me. But there's still those days where I overeat so much that I do get sick and I do throw up. And, you know, as my head's hanging in the toilet, like, I feel so bad about myself. And then the next day I wake up and I do it all over again. And it's hard, because nobody wants to find themselves in that place. So before you judge someone on their shape, their size, their body, or if you see someone maybe overeating, or if you see someone who's not eating, like, God, she never eats. Why doesn't she ever eat? But why? How is she big? Like, just know that there's all these things that these people could be going through. And instead of judging them, just sit back and just try to be understanding. Try to be understanding of the fact that not everybody is the same, and everyone deals with stuff differently. I personally know from experience what it's like for someone to look at me and say, how are you so fat but you don't eat? Well, more often than none, I probably do a lot of my eating in private. And if you are one of those people that do your eating in private and you're still struggling with people making these assumptions and these things about you, don't let that bother you. Don't. Hey, sorry. The baby woke up, so I had to put her back down. But I'm going to wrap this video up just because I have a ton of stuff that I need to get done. I got to get the kids from school. I got to go by the post office and do all that fun stuff. But guys, keep trucking. Keep going. Don't stop fighting. You're not alone. Know that at the end of the day, you are just as worthy as you were when you first woke up, as when you go to sleep. I know it's so hard to feel that way at the end of the day, because I know even for myself, like, I just feel like sometimes it's just not enough. The things you do is just not enough. But just know every day counts. Every step forward matters. It doesn't matter where you are in life. You're doing good. And sometimes I feel like that's just what people need to hear. Sometimes we just need to hear, hey, you're doing a good job. So my message is to you guys, keep going. Keep moving forward. You're doing great. You're doing excellent. Whatever it may be, that you're struggling with, know that there will be a brighter side, that this rainstorm is not going to last forever, and that you will come out of it. And whenever you do, you're going to be thankful for some of the struggles that you've gone through, because during your struggles is also a period of growth. And right now, I know that I'm going through this period of growth. I don't want to be here. I don't want to have these feelings. I don't want to be alone. But I know this is where I need to be for the time. So, whatever it is you're going through, just keep going, and I promise it's going to get better. And if you ever need anything, whether it be a listening ear or just to vent through, I don't care if it's a message or an email. Hell, I'll even give you guys my phone number. Like, just know that I am a safe place for you. I will be here to listen. I will be here to help guide you and coach you through whatever it is you guys need. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry it got a little bit emotional. There's a lot of things I wanted to say that I feel like I didn't say. But maybe I'll do a part 2 of this. I don't know. I just know I needed to get some of this out today. So thank you for watching and for listening. I probably will leave the comments on for this. Just know any negative comments, bashing, or any hatred is not going to be tolerated. I want this to be able to be, like I said, a safe place. So any negativity and hate will not be tolerated. You will be immediately deleted, blocked, and removed. If you do want to continue to see my videos, please just like and subscribe. You also can follow me on Instagram. That's where I do the majority of all of my posts and things like that. I will try to make these videos maybe like at least once a week. I do have my upcoming yoga challenge starting on September 23rd. I will be doing an introduction video for that, along with every day the different poses and some warm-up exercises. So be sure to follow that. I feel like that would be really good to kind of get started on. I think that's going to help me a lot too, especially with my eating habits right now. But I love you guys, and I will see you later.